almost you can say that I'm a representative of the industry. So let's talk it from a point of view, what is the industry expecting out of the fresh talent who is joining the industry, right? And this is where I'll end. To answer the question, how do we kind of marry these two things, right? Traditional way of education and the technology or the new things which are coming in, how do we integrate this? I'll give you a small example. Think about a child who's about a year or two old is trying to learn a new language. Yeah? So what is coming naturally is the language which the mother is speaking. Is natural. That child is learning Hindi, English, or your regional languages, whatever it is. But then, if you start assuming the father speaks other language and the mother speaks other language, and both the languages are taught to the child would pick up both the languages and would become over time proficient in maybe about 2 or 3 languages. What I want to say is, we have to start early. You know, this thing will become natural when a child or a student is in early stage of education, and if we try and bring in small bits and pieces of what we are expecting in future to come in, at that age, at that stage, the child is more receptive, child is more agile, and they have more capacity to learn new things. The resistance will be far lesser. So my thought is that we should start early. In this new education policy that we're talking about, NEP 2020, I think the focus of India has changed from pedagogical, just plain vanilla education, to bringing in vocational education part of it, and that's where I come from. So my organization is a council which is for life sciences, which is pharmaceutical, biopharmaceutical, medical device, IVD, R&D services, clinical research, on such side of it. And what we are trying to say is that if a child is exposed to what is a sector, what are the nuances of the sector, what are the opportunities of that sector, what are the excitement of that sector, say about life sciences, and we are talking about building sciences, for example. Where is it coming from? All of a sudden, you are in graduating in BTech or MTech, and you all of a sudden you are for science. How will you inculcate that curiosity of becoming a scientist, not at a later stage, but at a very early stage? And I know the education system in Canada and Germany we're talking about, where you have a lot of case study based or a practical thing, challenges to those young kids who start solving various smaller problems, and then they start to kind of have interest in the research, right? That has to come here. When I start my talk saying that I'm from the industry is expecting that. What is industry expecting? That when they hire a fresh talent from the education institute, they often complain that they don't know how they should start to come and work. For example, in life sciences, yeah, we do lab experiences, lab experiments. In colleges and in universities, how many times we have seen the equipments are not touched. They're kept as is. Expensive equipment not touched. And then that graduate is coming and joining the industry, and the industry is going to say, have you seen that equipment? Yeah, sure. Do you know what are the features of it? Yeah. Do you know how to run it? No. That's where it has to change. And this can happen if we start early, adopt vocational education and hands-on education into the whole scheme of things, and NEP 2020 is mandated that. Bring in vocational education, early exit, easy exit, entry, easy exit, and then re-entry, upskilling, reskilling, all these parts, all these things are part of that in 2020. And I think that's going to revolutionize a lot of education systems. So So I said a lot of things.